What's up, and welcome to Talking New Metal with Jay Dennis. Today I'm going to be talking about Korn's sixth album, Take a Look in the Mirror. Let me see, it's their sixth album, but I think maybe 10 years ago, when I was really getting into Korn for the first time and trying to collect their albums, this might have been the fifth album that I bought this exact album used at FYE. That's why the barcode's hole punched. Take a look in the mirror. Sounds like a more raw version of Untouchables. So in terms of guitar tones and Jonathan Davis's vocals, it really sounds like, because with the loud choruses that Untouchables brought, and that polished sound, that unique loud sound that would be more present on Korn's newest album, Serenity of Suffering. Uh, Take a look in the mirror. Sounds like a raw Untouchables. If you listen to When Will This End, the final track, it's actually like a 14-minute song, but the actual song is like 3.5 minutes. 3:33. But if you skip over like that 7-minute gap, you'll hear a live version of them playing One when they did that Metallica concert, when all these new metal bands and stuff covered Metallica songs. Still think Limp Bizkit's cover of Sanitarium was top notch. I wish I could find a recorded version of that MP3. This album features Korn's best rap collaboration. That's a bit of a stretch. Follow the Leader had some. It's not all in the family. Children of the Corn with Ice Cube was probably their best rap collaboration. So I may have misspoke there. As much as I love Fred Durst, All in the Family wasn't their strongest collaboration. It was more of a funny, goofy track. But Play Me with Nas is an excellent. Nas's feature, the guy can spit. It's awesome, and the music in the background's a little bland. I think it's just dun, 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 which is authentic Korn. It's not bad, but it's just it didn't scream at me as loud as Ice Cube and the musicianship and Children of the Corn. So while Play Me makes Take a Look in the Mirror a stronger Korn album, I guess it might not be my favorite. It's probably my second favorite. Anyway, this album starts and ends heavy. If you've never seen the music video for Right Now, it's a snuff video of a animated guy just fucking himself up. Like it's a snuff film or a snuff video. But to me, this album has always been one of their best, third or fourth best. And it's a very underrated, very not talked about Korn album because the singles weren't as big as their prior singles. 6 albums in, how is a band going to stay as relevant as when they were on a constant uphill, like growth to fandom, fame, all that stuff? You gotta peak or you gotta start dropping off at some point. Unfortunately, they started dropping off at this album. This is the last album that they would have head Brian Welch in until his return years later. But it's a very underrated album, and it's really hard to keep getting better and keep getting bigger after 5 albums. I mean, shit. You ever hear of the sophomore slump? Korn never had that. But something that I've always believed for the past 10 years is this album doesn't have a single weak track on it. From start to finish, this album is flawless. The only reason why it's not my favorite is because in the midst of all that constant quality, there aren't any spikes where I'm like, wow, this album screams at me the way It's On or Hey Daddy does. So I'd give like every song on this album like a 9, but none of them are a 10. I don't know. It's ranking Korn albums is fucking hard. All right, this is like my third or fourth favorite Korn album of all time, I've always thought it was good from start to finish. The best tracks are... Sorry. Best tracks are probably When Will This End, which is the last track. Let's Do This Now. Counting on Me. Yeah, it's hard to pick favorite tracks on this album because they're all good, solid tracks, but none of them truly stand out. The singles Right Now and Everything I've Known, both excellent singles. No, did I say Everything I've Known? I'm sorry, I meant to say Did My Time. Everything I've Known sounds like part 2 of Did My Time. So that epicness you hear in Did My Time kind of carries over into Everything I've Known, but it's like the calm after the storm. But yeah, Jonathan Davis screams a lot more in this album. Run away, nowhere. Is it Counting on Me? He screams like a motherfucker. It probably Let's Do This Now. I'm Done is another great song. In a nutshell, Korn's 6th album, Take a Look in the Mirror, from start to finish is consistently awesome. There aren't any superior standout tracks, but there aren't any weak tracks. I don't think there's a single weak track on this. None of them are worth skipping. But it's still not Korn's best album, but it's up there. It's up there with Follow the Leader, Issues. Yeah. So again, this was Brian Head Welch's last album before he was gone for a few albums. On the next Talking Nu Metal, I'm going to talk about the first album I ever bought of Korn. See you on the other side, and their first album without Brian Head Welch. I will talk to you in the next video.
Yeah, round 2, we're gonna something like